Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Topic 8, Lesson 4, the law of cosines. So our main objective is to use the law of cosines to solve problems. Maybe we have to find the missing angle or to find the missing side. What is the situation in which we can use the law of cosines? So here is the main concept. For any triangle ABC, the law of cosines relates the cosine of each angle to the side lengths of the triangle. What does it mean? It means, let's say if you have this triangle in which the angles are shown with the capital letters A, B and C, and the opposite sides, for example, the side that is opposite to angle A is represented with small a, and the side that is opposite to angle B with the small b, like that. Okay, so we can relate the cosines of each angle to the side lengths of the triangle. How? For example, you can say a squared, because it is opposite to this angle, so you can say a squared equal to the two sides that are containing this angle. Please listen to my words very carefully. The two sides in which this angle is included, so you will square those two sides. B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cos of A. So this shows that if you have, let's say if you're trying to find this side that is opposite to this angle A, you must have this side and this side where my cursor is moving right now, these two sides, and the angle that is included in these two sides. You must have these three things to find this side that is opposite to this angle. So similarly, let's say if you are trying to find any side that is opposite to, let's say, angle B. Now you are trying to find this side. How can you find it? If you have angle B, the angle that is opposite to this, and the two sides in which this angle is included. So by using this formula, B squared equals A squared plus C squared minus 2AC times cos angle B will give you the value of this opposite side B. Clear? And these are the derived formulas. Derived formulas means like you can directly find, no need to do it a squared equal to all this. Directly from this formula you can say a equals square root of all this, right? Means if you want to remove the square, you have to take the square root here and you have to take the square root here, and this square and square root will cancel, so it will become a equals square root of b square plus c square minus 2bc times cos A. So this is, you can say, the direct way to find the side that is opposite to the angle. Similarly, the second formula is this one, and the third formula is this one. Now the same formula, this law of cosines, can also be used to find the missing angle. For example, if I'm trying to find angle A, let me highlight it for you. For example, I'm trying to find angle A. Then what are the things that I need to use the law of cosines? I must have the opposite side A. I must have the two sides in which this angle is included. So it means if I want to find angle A using the law of cosines, I must have these three sides. Clear? Then how I will find the angle A? Angle A will be equal to cos inverse. Then you will say B squared plus C squared, means the sides that are having this angle, or you can say the sides that are making this angle, square them, add them and subtract from them the side that is opposite to this angle over 2BC. Clear? This formula is actually also derived from this formula. Similarly, you can make these for angle C. You know what is, I mean, this is very helpful if you memorize these formulas. Directly you can find the values of the angles. Now let's see what is the difference between the sine rule and the cosine rule, or you can say the law of sines and the law of cosines. The main difference is, in the law of sines we always look for the pair. Like look at this, where my pen is moving right now, like an angle with the opposite side, and similarly an angle, this angle B, with the opposite side. Clear? And we used to make the formula, like for example you can say sine A over A equals sine B over B. That means you need both the pairs. Maybe one of the you can say maybe B will be missing, maybe an angle will be missing, but we look for the pair of the angle with the opposite side. But when we talk about the law of cosines, it's only one pair, only this pair. For example, A with the opposite side A. And then with this pair, we need the two sides in which this angle is included. Okay, now let's say if you have a triangle like this where you have C here now, and we are trying to find C. That means I need this angle C with the opposite side, that is small c, and then I need these two sides, one of the side here, one of the side here, the ones that are making this angle. Hope it's clear for you. By the way, the questions are very simple. Simply you have to, you can say, memorize these formulas and apply them onto the questions. So let's see, what do we have first to solve? It says try 2a. What is DE? So where is DE? This side is actually DE and it is opposite to the capital F. So if you want to name it, you can name it with the small f, right? So we can say to find small f, I will say square root of what? The two sides that are making this angle, right? So what are the two sides that are making this angle? It's 6 and 8. So you will say 6 squared plus 8 squared. I'm using this formula now, this one, right? So it will become the square of the two sides that are making this angle. Then you will say minus 2 times what it will be? It will be 6 and 8, and then you will write cos the angle that is made by these two sides, that is 62 degrees, right? So you will put all of it together on the calculator. Let me show you in the first question how you will put it on the calculator. Wait. So let's put the values into the first. You will press the square root sign. Then we have to write 6 squared plus 8 squared minus 2 times it's 6, and then close the bracket, and then we have next 8 times cos it's 62, so 62, and then also close the bracket in the end and just press is equal to. So you will get the answer, that is 7.41. So let's write the answer. So the value of f will be 7.41, and f is actually the side that is DE. Is that clear? Now in 2b they said find, let me do it with the blue color. Now they are saying find GH. Now GH is opposite to J. So you can write over here J if you want to, or simply you can say GH equals square root of what? Okay, how I will know that I have to use the cosine law here? You can see here that I have been given this angle, and this is the side they want me to find. Let me put a question mark here. This is the side they want me to find. So it's making a pair, right? And then the two sides that are given, they are actually you can say they are making this angle, or you can say these are the sides in which this angle is included. Clear? So all the conditions that we need to use the law of cosines are fulfilled. So I will start using the law. Okay, so GH will be equal to what? The two sides that are containing this angle. So it will be 12 squared plus 18 squared minus 2 times what? So it's going to be 2 times the same numbers, 12 and 18. And what do you have to multiply it? You have to multiply it with cos what? Let me extend it. So it's going to be cos 110 degrees. You will close the bracket. After that, simply you have to substitute all these values into the calculator. So let's put the values into the calculator. It's going to be square root 12 squared plus 18 squared minus 2 times 12, and then we have 18, and then we have cos 110, and then close the bracket and see what is the answer. It's 24.8. So the answer for the, let me write it here for you, it's 24.8. Clear? Okay, let's solve now some questions from the lesson. Here they are saying for exercise 18 and 19, use triangle DEF, find an equation for each length. So here they want us to find the length E. So if you, because all the three sides are given, that means I can use the law of cosines, and this is the angle that is opposite to this E. So how can you write the equation to find length E? E will be equal to, it means they actually want you to write the formula. Clear? So it's going to be what? The two sides in which this angle is included are f and d. So you can say over here f square plus d square minus 2fd times cos which angle? The angle that is opposite to angle, the side E. So it's going to be angle E. Clear? And to find length f, now erase all of it and see what do we have. We are trying to find, we are trying to find f. So the opposite angle is capital F. So you can say square root of, what are the sides that are in which the angle is included? It's d squared plus e squared minus 2de times cos angle F. Clear? Let's solve some more questions. Now these are the questions from the exercise. It's question number 20 and 22. Let's see how can we solve it. They want us to find this side x and it is opposite to the angle 83. Then these are the two sides in which this angle is included. That means we have to use the law of cosines. So how can we find x now? So x will be equal to square root of, what is it? 21 squared plus 13 squared minus 2 times 21 times 13 and times it by cos the angle that is here. It's 83, right? You can put this in the bracket or just 83. Now put all of it on the calculator and find what is the answer. Let's put it on the calculator. So here is the answer. You can see from the calculator it's giving us 23.3, right? We have to give the answer to the nearest tens. That means we need just one decimal place after the decimal. Clear? Okay, here the next question, same idea. Look at this. You have this pair in which you are trying to find the side and the angle is given, and these are the two sides in which the angle is included. So same formula we are going to write. So I'll do it with the red color. Let me write it here for you. So it's going to be x equals square root of what? 44 squared plus 26 squared minus 2 times 44 into 26 into cos 69, and then we will put all of it on the calculator to check what is the answer. So let's check it on the calculator. So we got 42.3. So the value of x will be 42.3. Here is another question. It says a triangle has sides with lengths 12 centimeter and 15 centimeter. The measure of the included angle is 46. What is the length of the third side to the nearest tenth of a centimeter? So better draw the triangle first. So they are saying if you have any triangle, because we don't know what are the main measurements, so we can roughly draw any triangle, right? So one of its side is 12 centimeters, the other side is 15 centimeter. Now read these words very carefully. They are saying the measure of the included angle is 46. That means in between these two sides, the angle is actually 46 degrees. And now they are saying find the third side. So what is the third side? This is the third side that is unknown, right? Now it's the case of the cosine law, because I have a pair and the sides in which the angle is included are given, right? So that means you have to use the law of cosines to find the value of x. So we can say x equals square root of 12 squared plus 15 squared minus 2 times 12, and it will be into 15, and then cos will be 46, right? Now put all of it on the calculator and get the answer. So the answer is becoming 10.9. That is option D, this one. Okay, the other thing that you have to notice is they said give your answer to the nearest 10, means like when you are rounding your answer, you should have just one decimal place. Now let's discuss the second idea of this lesson, in which you have to find the missing angle. How I will decide that I have to use the law of cosines? First thing is I will be given all the three sides, and then one of the angle they will ask me to find. Like here in this example or this triad question, they want me to find angle x. So look at this. If I'm trying to find angle x, I will see what is the opposite side. It's 4. and the sides in which this angle is included are also given. That means all the conditions that you need to use the law of cosines are fulfilled. So you can find the law of, you can use the law of law of cosines. How? You can say angle x will be equal to cos inverse. Let me show you first what was the formula that we decided. It's going to be like this. Cos inverse, the two sides in which the angle is included, you will take the squares of them, you will and add the squares, subtract from it the square of the third side or the opposite side. And in the denominator again you will multiply 2 with the two sides in which this angle is included. So follow this rule and let's put the values into the formula. So it's going to be, what we will have in the numerator, these two sides in which the angle is included. So it's going to be 6 squared plus 7 squared. And what you have to subtract from it? The side, okay, I'll do it with a different color, the side that is opposite to this angle. So it's 4 squared. And what do you have to write in the denominator? Same numbers, the in which the angles are included. So it's going to be 6 times 7. Clear? So let's put these values onto the calculator. So it's going to be, and by the way, close this bracket here, this one. Okay, so it's going to be shift cos, so it will give us cos inverse here. Then we want to write a fraction, so you will write 6 squared plus we have 7 squared, and then we have minus 4 squared, and in the denominator you can write this in the brackets, or simply you can put the multiplication sign. So 2 times 6 times 7, both will be correct, but don't forget to close the last bracket with, you have to bring the cursor here in the end and then close the bracket, and it will give you the answer, that is 34 point, let's make it 8, 1 to 1 decimal place. So it's going to be 34.8. So the answer will be 34.8 degrees. Clear? Now let's solve B part. In this part we have we have to find angle P. So here is angle P. So what do you have to check for this angle? That do you have the opposite side? Yes, we have it. Do we have the sides in which this angle is included? Yes, we have those two sides, right? So you have one pair and the two sides. So let's start. How we will find the angle? You can say, if I shade these for you with the yellow, okay, so we can say angle P will be equal to cos inverse, right? And then we have 11 squared plus 8 squared. And then in the denominator it's going to be 2 times 11 times 8, right? But what do we have to subtract from it? So here you will have minus 13 square, the side that is opposite to this angle, and you will close the bracket in the end. Now put all of it on the calculator and you will get the answer. Let me check what is the answer. So it's becoming 58.8 degrees. Clear? Now I will give you some questions to solve. So here's question number 24 and 26. Better pause the video here, solve both the questions on your own. It's very simple. You have to find this angle and here you have to find this angle, right? And you can see that the opposite sides are given and the sides in which the angle is included, they are also given. So better pause the video here and complete these two questions on your own. So here is the answer for question number 24 and 26. Better pause the video, compare your answers with my answers. Also check each step that have you done it correctly. Okay, now let's, because we are done with the lesson, so let's do some extra questions. For each slide, I want you to pause the video before you, so first you solve it and then play the video to check your answers. So here is the correct option because you were asked to find the angle. And all the three sides are given and we have like angle and the opposite side and the other two sides in which the angle is included. So that means we can use the law of cosines to solve for the angle. Here is the next question. Here if you check, you have the angle already and you have been given the opposite side. I mean you are asked to find the opposite side. And the sides in which the angle is included are also given. That means now you have to use the cosine law, but to find the side in which you write x equals square root of plus 8 square plus 15 square, like that. So better pause the video here, solve the question and then play the video to check your answer. Here is the answer for this question. You can see I substituted all the values into the formula and the answer is becoming 9.4, and because I was supposed to give the answer to the nearest tenth, so I gave it to the 1 decimal place. Here is the next question. Now it says which law to use to find the missing side, law of sines or law of cosines. Now this is a very tricky question because usually when we are dealing, let's say when we are in the lesson of law of sines, we know that in all the questions we have to use the law of sines. When we are solving the questions of law of cosines, we know that we have to use the law of cosines here. But here when you have in any question in the quiz, then you cannot decide which law to use. So be very careful. As I showed you this slide that was telling you how to decide which law to use. So even if you can say if you take a pair of known and unknown and the other pair if you have known and unknown, when I say pair I mean the angle with the opposite side, angle with the opposite side. So if you have such pairs in any question, that means you have to use the law of sines. But if you have just one pair in which maybe the angle is known and the side is missing, or maybe the side is given and the angle is unknown, but also with this one pair you have been given the two sides in which the angle is included. So it means just think about how you can make use of these two laws. Now if you look at this one, here I have been given an angle. I will check, have they given me the opposite side? Yes, the opposite side is given. When I check the other angle, yes, the opposite side is unknown. So it's a pair, angle with the opposite side, angle with the opposite side. So which law can help me to solve this? It's law of sines, right? So law of sines can be written in two ways. You can write sine angle A over A equals sine B over B equals sine C over C. By the way, we use just two of them, not three of them at the same time. And same formula can be written as A over sine A equals B over sine B and equals C over sine C. Why? I mean, it's the same formula, just we flipped all the values, right? Okay, this one we use it when we are trying to find the angle, and this one we use it when we are trying to find any missing side. So here we have decided that we will use the law of sines and the side is missing, so I'm going to write the same formula in this way. Okay, so it will be A over sine what? Sine A means the opposite angle, so it's 45. Okay, on the other side I have B, this one is, let's say, B, so it's 5 over, what is the opposite angle? It's sine 65. Now how will you remove this from here? You have to take it to the other side. So right now it's in the denominator, so it will come over here in the numerator. Clear? So we can say A will be equal to 5 times sine 45 over sine 65, and then you will put all these values on the calculator to get the answer. So the answer is becoming, let me check. So here is the answer. You can see it's becoming 3.90. So let's see, do we have this option here? Yes, it's here, 3.9, right? So this is the correct option, 3.9 meters. That means the opposite side, this A will be 3.9 meters. Let's see what do we have next. Here, better pause the video here and solve this question on your own. So here you can see I substituted all the values, 25 times sine 62 over 28. So we are getting the answer 52.0. Clear? Now the thing is, how will you remember this? I mean, this formula, that how to find the angle A. So angle A, whenever you are trying to use a law of sines and you are trying to find the angle A, so for sure it's going to be sine inverse something. Sine inverse of what? The side that is opposite to this angle A, 25 times sine 62 over the side, this one that is opposite to 62, because it's coming from here, this one, right? So first you will move this 25 to the other side, that will be here in the numerator, and then you have to take the sine inverse. Clear? So this is how you will use the law of sines and the law of cosine. That's all for this video. Hope you understand the lesson.